All right, Kenny, and I know he says, John, that he's built for this and he's ready, but I got to imagine there's some crazy butterflies going on, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you dream of this when you're a kid, but I don't know if you dream of making 5 different stops to get to this point in 1 year. And he's a very unorthodox top of the height of 7.1 feet to deliver a baseball. So hitters don't see that very often. Straight over the top, fastball, split, slider, and so far so good of this youngster pitching at home in game 2.
Go get him, youngster, against the top offense in baseball this year. Still trying to get going in the postseason, though. It's the same lineup as yesterday with Grisham, Judge, and Bellinger, Rice, Stanton, and Chisholm. Ryan McMahon's at third, Volpe's at short, and Austin Wells does the catching. Yeah, Yasaage, drafted just 1 year ago and started this season in A-ball. He said, I think I've met everybody in the organization already this year, climbing each rung of the ladder. And here to the big leagues less than a month ago. His 4th start comes in the playoffs.
First couple fastballs are going to tell you all you need to know about his calmness or the anxiety, and this disciplined lineup for the Yankees.
Here it is, strike 1 on Trent Grisham.
So the top of the zone, you see the fastball comes out way up high, right? Hitters are not used to seeing it. Top of the zone, if it's called, trouble for the Yankees.
He's 6'4", extreme over the top arm angle, highest release point in the majors, and that makes it an odd look for hitters.
It does. And what you see in his watching some film, he couples that with a great and even better split finger than some people think than Gausman.
The Yankees yesterday 0 for 8 against Gausman's splitter. There it is right there. That falls out of the sky.
Yeah, it floats. Again, north and south. That's where he's going to be pitching. Top of the zone, bottom of the zone. And that pitch right there is what's given the left-handed hitters for the Yankees all kinds of fits.
And because of that pitch, lefty's hitting just 160 against Yasaage, who's home with a 1-2. And he begins with a strikeout on that splitter.
Well, heartbeat, check. Pitches, check so far. But it's the right-handers that he's going to have to figure out how to get out. He's had less success against right-handers in his short big league stint than he has against left-handers. The good news for him, majority of the hitters are left-handed for the Yankees.
Bad news for him is the first right-hander he faces is one of the greatest hitters of all time, and Aaron Judge, who takes a slider outside. Aaron had 2 hits yesterday, but in the biggest spot, struck out with the bases loaded. It's kind of a microcosm of how the postseasons have gone for Judge, chasing a pitch that during the regular season you'd rarely see him budge at. And while he's hitting .400 so far in the postseason, he has just 1 extra base hit, and he's driven in just 1 run.
Nope.
3-0.
Oh, that's a great slider right there. He needs that pitch against the right-handers, and not getting the call. A good patient approach so far for Aaron Judge.
It is a 4-pitch walk, and Judge is the first base runner for the Yankees. Savage's parents making the trip up from Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Cheryl and Dave. Trey grew up on the family farm back in Boyertown, where he was more of a football player and an outdoorsman than he was a baseball player until he got to high school and started to focus on pitching. The Yankees have a base runner, and they have Cody Bellinger at the plate. Bellinger drove in their lone run with a bases loaded walk yesterday.
So you're already seeing the East-West is very tight called so far. Getting the call up still benefits him more. If he can get the top of the strike zone as a, let's say, an inch above it, he'll benefit. But this is the one issue. The one issue with that release point from time to time, he will have command issues. When the ball comes out of his hand, it comes out up. It looks great to a hitter, but the hitter cannot see that late hop. They swing underneath it, and then you couple that with the split finger. That's why he's had success.
He's missed with his last 6 pitches after striking out Grisham. He finds his own right here. John Schneider was telling us before the game that, yeah, I watched video of the kid as he charged through the minors this year and thought, man, that does look unique. But he said you have to see it in person to really appreciate how different it is. The Yankees seeing him for the first time. different guys have different ways of getting ready, whether it's watching video of them or trying to find comps of guys, but it's hard to find anybody to compare to this.
Yeah, that last pitch right there would be nightmare for the Yankees if he keeps throwing it there.
2-2. Check swing foul.
You just have to, the reason, you know, if you're sitting at home, you're like, man, I don't understand why do people keep swinging at a pitch that's way out of the zone. You have to respect 97, 98. And when it leaves his hand, it looks like it's going to be a fastball, and then it drops about 1.5 feet, and there's no time to really recognize that.
On another 2-2, a swing and a miss, and that splitter nosedives to get Bellinger.
It's straight over the top and straight down, and you can see there are going to be some funky swings. You can't sit on it. You just hope it's a mistake. You tell yourself to see it up, and if you see it up, it's going to stay in the strike zone. If you see it at the knees, it's impossible to be in the strike zone.
Ben Rice, this is an interesting one right here, John, because he looked like he had no chance against Gausman's splitter, but Aaron Boone told us he likes this matchup if he gets a high fastball.
Yeah, he's got to get that fastball. I don't know how many he'll get today.
Here's an 0-1. It is a fastball that's a little bit low, according to Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire. So postseason debut here for Yasaage. Coming off 5 scoreless innings, though, with the division on the line the last weekend. Splitter gets a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. He's got a chance to get 3 Ks in the first.
You can't get in between as a hitter, and what that means is when you're in between, you look lost, right? You're trying to get ready for the fastball. You don't ever want to miss the fastball as a hitter, but then you get that pitch and it makes you look like you're swinging underwater.
3 strikeouts in the first inning for the kid. Blue Jays coming to bat, averaging 8 runs per game against the Yankees here at Rogers Center this year. It's a different looking lineup with the left-handed starter. Davis Schneider gets plugged in there. So does Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Miles Straw joining the 6 holdovers from yesterday. John, this is why the Yankees got Max Fried. 19 wins during the regular season to lead the majors, and then 6 1/3 scoreless innings in his first postseason start against Boston.
Yeah, he's got about 17 different ways he can get you out. 5, 6 pitches, and there's the split of what he does, and you just can't eliminate anything. And when he's in his mechanics and he doesn't race off to third base and fall off, he's tough to hit.
George Springer leads off for the Blue Jays and takes outside, ball 1.
And what I mean by that, staying over the rubber to deliver your pitch. Sometimes he gets that front side going towards third. He'll miss arm side with his 2-seam sinker and pull his cutter in. When he's over the rubber, it's different.
31 years of age, out of Los Angeles, 8 seasons with the Atlanta Braves, went into free agency for the first time this offseason, and the Yankees gave him the biggest contract ever for a left-handed pitcher.
You're going to see his breaking balls. He can throw a slow one, he can throw a firmer one. He's got 3 different fastballs, but his changeup has really been the pitch that has come along in the last 3 weeks, and throwing that changeup is the built-in change of speeds he's going to need against these right-handed hitters.
He's going to need that, and Austin Wells needs a little contact solution. Wash some dirt out of his eye there. Pitcher Profile is sponsored by Bosch. Taking a look at Fried. And, you know, as good as he's been in the regular season throughout his career, the postseason history not good. 20 games in Atlanta, 2-5 with a +5 ERA, and so good signs what he did against Boston earlier this week, and this is something he wanted a chance to do better at. It was one of the things at the top of his list as he was looking through his options in free agency. Where can I go and have a chance to pitch in big games? Where can I go and have a chance to get a second ring? Got Wells' eyes fixed. Good thing to have fixed when you're back there catching. 1-1 to George Springer is chopped left side for Ryan McMahon. One away in the first.
If he's on his game with that pitch, there's going to be a lot of ground balls to the left side of the infield.
So one of the new guys to the lineup today, Davis Schneider, and he's just the next man on the list to the rest of the cast, the unsung heroes for this Blue Jays team this year.
He is loving to get his bat revved up and swing hard. I mean, he's one of those guys that you can't look at him when you're pitching because it looks like he's timing up your fastball before you throw it. And he's trying to create a lot of velocity with that bat. Aggression early.
On a 1-0, Schneider cracks a line drive, base hit to left. First hit of the day for the Blue Jays comes from Davis Schneider in his first career postseason at bat.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. It's the leg lift before you throw a pitch. And it used to bother me personally when I faced hitters that had the leg lift going, oh man, he's timing up my fastball. He knows it's coming. But that's his approach every single time. That's a good sign for him in Toronto because he had been struggling against left-handers this month, hitting under .050 batting average.
First base runner for the Jays, and here's Vlad Jr. Vlad went into yesterday fighting a couple things. He hadn't homered in a month, and in the postseason in his career, 3 for 22, just 1 run batted in. And so he lifted the lid off of this place. That first inning home run, part of a 3 for 4 day that snapped a couple of things he wanted to. On a 1-0 from Fried, Vlad takes strike one.
You're going to notice if when you get a chance to see shots of the runner going to go back a lot. Max Fried has a great move, almost balk move, and picked off some runners at first base. So they're going to try to get that real big lead, but then their first move is going to be to head back to first.
Big old bounce. Won't be an easy play. Chisholm has none. Everything going Guerrero's way so far in this division series. Infield hit, and the Blue Jays have set the table in the first against Fried. Baltimore chopped north of the border.
Yeah, they put the ball in play. So when you put the ball in play, things like this can happen. And the one thing that Max Fried has to do is limit the damage when the runners are on, because they are a momentum offense that clicked from the 5th inning on yesterday, and looking to do that here in the first inning.
No hotter hitter than this guy right here, Alejandro Kirk. 2 more home runs yesterday, and after a bad September, he's hit 5 home runs and driven in 9 in his last 3 games.
Well, the thing that will concern me is he can go to that vacant hole in second base. Chisholm is right up the middle, leaving a huge hole.
Grounds one right at Chisholm. Should be 2. It will be to get Fried out of this inning unscathed. Well, as Kenny told us, Trey Yasaage was saying he feels like he's built for this stage, and he also said he feels like he's at the top of his game right now, pitching as well as he ever has. He makes the biggest start of his life. Strikes out 3 in the first inning. Giancarlo Stanton leads off the second, and a fastball right down the chute.
Well, the right-handers in this lineup are going to have to find a way to cause havoc, because right now the rhythm of the left-handers has been neutralized by the split finger.
There's a slider.
Yeah, slider has a downward action and actually looks sometimes like his split, but he's going to throw that primarily to just right-handed hitters.
0-2 to Stanton is in the dirt. Struck out 9 in his debut against Tampa Bay a few weeks ago. That was a Toronto Blue Jays record. A bit of a bumpy second start against Kansas City, but then with the division kind of hanging in the balance last weekend, his best start, his first win. Fastball's high, and it's 2-2.
See, here's the problem. If you're sitting at home and people are going, why do they keep swinging at it? Why don't they just make him throw that pitch for a strike? Well, left-handed hitters don't want to get beat with fastballs, so you never really think you know for sure if he's going to throw a bunch of those. But yes, conventional wisdom says he's not going to throw that pitch for a strike. So if you took some and you controlled the count, easier said than done when a guy throws 97 miles an hour.
The Yankees have not swung at a fastball yet. They've only made contact once on 7 swings. The Yankees, even in years where they've not had Giancarlo Stanton at his best during the regular season, the one thing they've been able to count on is that he will show up in October, but still waiting on that version of Stanton this year. 1 for 15. On a payoff pitch. Chases strike 3. Slider gets him. 4 outs, 4 Ks.
Well, when you look in the first inning, right, and you see this pitch, it's the same pitch, the same drop, and the same swings by the Yankees. And that's just because the pitch drops so much. And when you see StatCast followed by Google Cloud, you can see these 3 splitters and how they come out. And they just are devastating. That was the slider that got the strikeout for 4 in a row.
Chisholm with a half-hearted swing and a pop into shallow left center field. Jimenez caught off by Schneider and a quick out right there.
There's the numbers, 0 for 13, and it hasn't even been close. So you had a couple double whammies. You have never seen this guy. Video doesn't do you any justice. You got to see it in the box, and when you're in the box, you're like, oh shoot,
maybe I don't want to see it.
Maybe I don't. And at some point, somebody's got to command and take a chance to see he's not going to throw 3 straight fastballs. Right? You got to take a chance and take some of those pitches in a count where you are afforded the opportunity to do that, meaning take the splitter.
Ball on Ryan McMahon. Strike on the splitter. We were asking Aaron Boone about the approach facing Yasaage, and he said, I tell you this, I know I wouldn't have liked facing him. He said he hated facing guys that had tilt, meaning coming downhill at you. That splitter just butterflies away. 1 and 2. McMahon into right field for Miles Straw. Couple scoreless innings for the 22-year-old. Couple singles in the first, but a double play ball helped him get out of that unscathed. Here he comes to Daulton Varsho. One of the lone lefties in the lineup for John Schneider today. And John was telling us before the game he thinks that right now is as good as Daulton Varsho has looked in his 3 years in Toronto.
Yeah, throwing in a couple lefties there to try to break up the rhythm of Max Fried.
And he does with a base hit down the line. Judge over to grab it with that sore elbow, and Varsho's into second. The ball gets by Judge. Varsho's at third.
Well, he tries to sweep his breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, and then this ball just hits the wall and gets underneath his legs. And that is an easy triple.
As we saw yesterday, here's one of the spots where the Blue Jays thrive. Runner at third, nobody out. Ernie Clement leans into one to deep left field. It is gone! Ernie Clement makes it 2-0. Different guy every night. The story of the Blue Jays. This time it's Ernie Clement launching a 2-run home run to start the scoring.
Didn't even have time to tell you that he swings about 50% of the time on the first pitch. That's how quick those two things just happened.
Connor for Laffer. He does, and he makes a ton of contact. There's not a lot of power in there, but hits this ball out. His first home run in almost 2 months. Hey! 1-1. Connor for Laffer, who started just 7 games after coming back to the Blue Jays at the end of August. in there today against Fried. Loading up the right-handers. Chopper at first. It's Rice. And there is the first out of the inning.
Yeah, he just reaches out and watch how it looks like he's off balance, but he catches. His hands stay behind, even though his body looks like he might be fooled on that breaking ball, and enough topspin lob there to get that ball to carry. They said the ball carries down the lines here really well, and we've seen evidence of that now. Not sure from our vantage point yesterday we thought Guerrero's ball was going to go as far as it did, and that one, same thing.
Andres Jimenez swings and misses at a first pitch sinker. Strike one. This is another thing that we touched on a little bit, but the depth of the lineup, the length of the lineup. Yesterday, 5 through 9 in the Blue Jays order combined for 8 hits, 8 runs scored. And it's that part of the order again that does it today. You got the stars at the top. You got Guerrero. You got Bo, who's not even in there today. But it's the team rounding it out down at the edges of the roster.
Yeah, you're not probably, if you follow baseball, you don't know a lot of these guys. Well, maybe in a month you're going to know a lot of them.
Jimenez down on strikes. And down to the field. Here's Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, Ernie Clement was released by the A's in March 2023. He said it was eye-opening. It forced him to realize that his career might be over. And he said to himself, if someone gives me a chance, I promise them I will not let them down. Well, he didn't let down the Blue Jays, the team that gave him the opportunity. 35 doubles this season, second on the team, and he's a candidate to win a utility Gold Glove.
Miles Straw sends one in the air to left center field. This will be routine for Cody Bellinger. And that's that for the Blue Jays in the second. Ernie Clement's home run has the Blue Jays on the board first, and Anthony Volpe to open the top of the third for the Yankees takes a ball from Trey Yasaage. Volpe continues to be a bright spot in this postseason for the Yankees. Doubled, scored their lone run yesterday. He's had a hit in all 4 games in this postseason. You go back to the beginning of last postseason, he's reached base 17 of his last 18 games.
Yeah, they need him to step up and get some. The Yankees just, I know it's only 11 innings, but they got to get some leadoff hitters on to create something, because they had virtually nothing until the 6th. He got that double and they scored their lone run, but very, very quiet top of every inning.
5.5 runs per game during the regular season, 10 runs total over 4 games in this postseason, and they've only hit 2 home runs, none of them from the big guys over the 4.
What I love about this, I used to hate it as a player, and I can say it now as an announcer, the narratives change so quick. I mean, they're just, you have to put away the noise and just know that you're a swing away, an inning away from changing the narrative.
Yasaage only boosting his 5 strikeouts out of the first 7 outs of the ball game.
This is right down the middle, so it tells you what his fastball's like. He has tremendous backspin on his 4-seam fastball, and that extra hop and the height that he delivers from, hitters will tell you they're not used to seeing that.
Austin Wells, the 9-hitter, takes a splitter for a strike. Base hit for Wells yesterday. Bottom of the order really set the table for the top. They just couldn't clean it. And for Wells, continuation of a strong finish to the regular season. The Yankee catcher takes strike 2. Strikeout number 6.
And straight over the top, split finger diving out of the zone, not anywhere close. And he gets to strut around the mound like, yeah.
Cheryl's becoming a big Megan Thee Stallion fan. They're playing savage after each of his strikeouts. A ball on Trent Grisham. Okay, so the Yankees get their first look at him. Doesn't go well. Now coming up, having gathered a little bit of information. Grisham struck out in a splitter his first time. Swings over a slider here. That's a rare righty-lefty slide.
Yeah, Again, it has that downward action that will go into a lefty, and the splitter goes away.
Grisham takes time. And now he's ready.
If I told you going into this inning he only threw 8 of 31 pitches in the zone, you'd say, oh man, maybe he's walked some guys and they got traffic. No, the problem is they were swinging and missing a lot out of the zone, and that just talks to you about how good his pitches are, that they look like strikes.
Well, only 3 starts, but if he had enough innings to qualify, it would be the highest chase rate in the major leagues. Combination of everything you're talking about, the reception from the arm angle, the stuff is really good, and just the unfamiliarity with the whole unique package. Already 6 Ks through 2 2/3. Make it 7. He strikes out the side in the 3rd.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. Blue Jays leading 2-0. We are here with Blue Jays manager John Schneider. John, Trey Yasaage, 7 strikeouts. What has impressed you the most so far?
His demeanor, to be honest with you. You know, it's obviously a big stage. 22-year-old kid. He's throwing strikes. And really commanding everything really well, which we kind of wanted to see coming into it, and so far so good.
His delivery is so unique for a team like the Yankees that has never seen him. How much of a challenge do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that can be a thing, you know, with a veteran team, you know, who can game plan really well. So, like anything, you know, you got to watch and see if they're making adjustments. But it's something it's tough to replicate, you know, from video or traject, whatever you want to call it. But it's a pretty unique look for sure.
Finally, Ernie Clement. What should fans know about him?
He's a baseball player, man. You know, we got a lot of those guys. He brings the same energy every single day. You know, elite bat to ball skills. He kind of left him up in those spots where you got to put the ball in play, you know, after Vars triples. So he's a gamer, does everything defensively. He's turned himself into a really good major league player.
John, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, David Schneider here after George Springer lines out in the first pitch of the 3rd. 2-0 Blue Jays on the Clement home run. Schneider was singled in the 1st inning. On this 1-1 from Max Fried, takes strike 2. Hey, David Schneider lookalike. Schneider became kind of a folk hero right away with the best first impression in Major League history. Hit a home run in his very first at-bat over the Green Monster and didn't stop there. His first 3 games in Boston that weekend, he had 9 hits. Here I am. 3-2.
Well, Max Fried, there's a lot of swing and miss off of Schneider, but he hasn't given him a pitch close enough with 2 strikes, and now he's put it in a neutral count.
Here's his payoff. Nope. Lays off for ball 4. Most patient guy in this aggressive Blue Jays lineup. Earns the walk. First one of the day is issued by Fried. And here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Well, for Max Fried, he's going to try to get Guerrero to ground to the left side for that double play ball. And think about something away that he'll try to pull, but that's the problem. He can go to all parts of the field, does Guerrero.
Even the infield. Infield hit his last time. He smacks on the right center field. He's 2 for 2. He's got 5 hits in the first 2 games of the division series. Jays have him cornered. Well, it's amazing what a week off and trying to reset that swing can do for a guy who is really scuffling.
Yeah, he's got a flatter bat angle, which really lends itself to this type of hitting. I mean, home runs, you got to have a bigger angle and launch angle to hit home runs, but I think they're going to be just fine with him getting a bunch of base hits in the postseason and doubles.
Especially if guys like Ernie Clement are leaving the yard. This guy right here, Alejandro Kirk, the 2 home runs yesterday. Fried would love to get another ground ball double play against him. Get out of this unscathed. Hey! There with a change. A changeup has been the pitch that Max Fried has leaned on down the stretch. Hit a 1.37 ERA over his last 8 starts. And the changeup, opponents were 2 for 33 against in that time. Oh, 99 with the sinker.
Yeah, and that can be not necessarily a great sign for Max Fried. I mean, it means you're revving the engines a little bit too much, trying to get perfect pitches and swing and misses. His curveball is a swing and miss pitch. We haven't really seen the big north and south one.
Nope.
And it looks like he's trying to power everything right now into this lineup that doesn't bother them. It really doesn't. Could throw 110. I think their style of hitting would be conducive for putting it in play.
Schneider at third, Guerrero at first. On a 2-1, Alejandro Kirk chases, and it's 2-2. Alejandro Kirk, the best 2-strike hitter in baseball this year. The league average with 2 strikes is 170. He was 270. First and third, one away. 2-2 pitch. Kirk puts it in play, right side. Rice's only play is at first. Fried covers, but a run comes to the back door. And an RBI for Kirk. Schneider scores 3-0 Blue Jays. Again, the bat-to-ball ability, the refusal to strike out leads directly to a run.
Absolutely. I've been saying it for years. These are the kind of things that help you win playoff games. They may not be great in the regular season because they don't value the things they should value to help you win baseball games. And guess what? This is when they really come out. We're stuck in an exit velocity world, and you think that exit velocity right there wasn't 200 miles an hour to their manager?
Yeah.
Gets the run in.
Up to second goes Guerrero. 2 gone for Daulton Varsho. Down the line, a fair ball. Guerrero can walk home. Varsho's got extra bases again. His second double in 3 innings. Max Fried had given up 1 run in his last 20 innings. He's given up 4 in 2 2/3.
Right down the line, and Varshaw's not messing around. He's not going to get deep in the count with a guy that has 5 different weapons. So, man, the amazing offense with runners on is just amazing.
Ernie Clement, the home run hitter the first time, fouls it off. And the Blue Jays, in 11 offensive innings in this series, have scored 14 runs on 20 hits. Matt Blake already on the phone to the bullpen. Fried's 0-1, very high. The 1-1 pitch. Yasaage ready to get back out there with his 7 Ks. 1-2 to Clement. It is into left field and a base hit. Here comes Varsho. Bellinger's throw. No chance. Extra 90 feet and the throw home. Clement's knocked in 3. The Blue Jays 5.
Well, 2 strikes, doesn't matter. Middle of the plate, they're going to put it in play. And you get a great jump with 2 outs, obviously, when you're a base runner. They got to their magic number already. When they score 5 runs, what was it, 72-4 now? 71-4 going into yesterday.
And on the other side, the Yankees haven't been able to touch pitcher they're trying to play catch-up against. Curveball, which we've not seen much of from Fried, misses high and visibly frustrated as the bullpen gets going in Cruz. It's a pen that got shellacked yesterday for 8 runs. And the day where things are supposed to change given the starting pitching matchup. More the same. Into center field, Trent Grisham. 2 in the second, 3 in the third for Toronto. Now the Blue Jays are saying we got ourselves a Schlittler. Trey Yasaage in his 4th start in the big leagues. 3 scoreless innings. He's struck out 7 and given up just 1 base runner.
And now a huge cushion.
Aaron Judge, the long guy to reach against him with a 4-pitch walk his first time, takes a strike. How's this shift your mentality when you're up 5-0?
Well, it just gets you more aggressive, and you feel obviously great, and you just want to keep rolling, man. When you've got your pitches working like this, you just don't want to mess around. Meaning, there's no reason to just attack. If they get some hits, they get some hits. But it's a luxury in your first postseason start to have cushion.
The offense has given him this room for error.
Outside.
2-1 on Judge.
What you have to do is tell yourself, even though facing Judge, you just don't want to give any more. You don't want to give a free pass, right? You challenge him now when you're down 5 or when you're up 5.
Backup slider.
Yeah, that's the one upgrade pitch. I'm telling you, if he progresses with that pitch, he won't have the differences between right-handed batter splits and left-handed batter splits, because he can take care of the left-hander with 2 pitches.
Three and 2. Bellinger and Rice to follow in this Yankees 4th. Payoff from the Savage. Judge swings and misses. Went upstairs to get him with a fastball.
That's what I was talking about earlier. See, that ball looks like it's hittable to a hitter right about there, and then it's like, oh no, because you can't get the barrel of the bat on a level plane on a fastball that high and that velocity.
Most extreme over-the-top arm angle in baseball.
Outside.
Outside on Cody Bellinger. Red Sox got a unique first look at a guy in Cam Schlittler the other day and struggled with it. Yankees getting their first look at Trey Yasaage and meeting the same fate.
I mean, I talked about yesterday and what an incredible performance Kevin Gossman and his execution of location against a team he faced 5 times. That is a hard thing to do. You are punching the Yankees' great offense into a place where it feels like you have no chance. Something's got to change, or you are just going to have this dominant performance before your eyes, and you're going to be down 2.
Inside.
So how do you change it?
Well, you change it by turning around one of his fastballs. I mean, he's going to give you plenty of fastballs to hit with a 5-run lead, and it's the ones you choose to swing at can't be above the letters.
Zap the letters, popped up in foul ground. It'll reach the seats. 3-2. Our ALDS coverage will continue next with Game 2 between the Tigers and the Mariners. The Tigers did it again last night, doing just enough to win in 11, and then National League, after taking today off, resumes tomorrow. Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, and Brewers on TBS.
Because right now he's got his chest out saying, you can't hit my fastball.
Yeah.
And until somebody does that, it won't change the narrative that he has this feeling that you can't touch it.
He strikes out another former MVP. Unreal.
I mean, Blue Jays have more hits than they have swings and misses. That is obviously not the case on the other side. That's 9 strikeouts, and that already ties a record.
Ben Rice takes downstairs, and so in his 4 starts in the major leagues, he's set 2 Blue Jays records: most strikeouts in a debut, most strikeouts in a postseason game. This guy was striking out about 15 hitters per 9 innings in the minors, and impressive. But yeah, okay, it was A ball, and then it was high A, and then it was double A. There is no league above this one, and there is no offense better than the one that he's doing it to today. Is 1-1 to Rice. Fastball sizzles in there, strike 2. He's looking for a 6th consecutive K and a 10th in 4 innings. Almost hit him.
I would think a splitter's coming right here.
Rice has had no chance against that pitch. There it is! Complete, utter dominance.
Welcome back to Rogers Center, here with Yankees manager Aaron Boone. Aaron, Trey Yasaage, 10 strikeouts, 6 in a row. What is making him so tough?
I mean, it's such a unique pitch, his split, and from that over-the-top angle, he's showing us enough fastball and slider to keep us honest, but we're just having a hard time, obviously, getting the beat on that split. And you know, we got to find a way somehow to get some balls in play here.
Max Fried, 5 runs so far. What have you seen?
Yeah, the stuff looks okay to me. You know, they're putting the ball in play against them like they do, and you know, it looked like they obviously the home run they rode out where he's a little out in front, but you know, able to put enough barrel on it. So it's been a little off, and they're finding some holes.
Aaron, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
All right, guys. So the home run leaderboard in this series, 4-0 Blue Jays. Look at the strikeout difference in today's game, 10-2. Down the line and foul. 2-2 on Jimenez.
It's just contact, right? Contact does so many good things, and we're just seeing 0 contact for the New York Yankees. And it's been a minute since we've seen a team of this offense just be completely humbled, and the young man is doing that.
So Will Warren getting ready. He was a candidate to start yesterday's game instead of work out of the bullpen for the Yankees. Jimenez slaps this one to third. McMahon heaves it across. Infield hit Andres Jimenez. Another 2-strike hit. It's got to be so frustrating for a pitcher to face a lineup like this.
It is, but the one thing you can say is Max Fried has the stuff to get quick outs and ground outs, and right now he just hasn't made as many good pitches in areas against a team that can do. Look, it's strength against strength, and it's all about execution at this time of the year, period. And right now you got one team executing absolutely flawlessly, and the other team is just like, they look bewildered.
The 9-hitter Miles Straw, who's second in the American League in sacrifice bunts this year. Shows bunt, takes a ball.
Oh,
2-0. Straw came over in a trade this offseason. Last year he was with Cleveland, but he spent the whole year in AAA. And so new life coming here to the Blue Jays. A really important piece for him when Daulton Varsho went down with his injuries. Below average as a hitter, but one of the best defensive outfielders in the league. And this is what he does really well, but unable to put it down in play here. 2 balls and a strike on Straw. Time for our team profile, sponsored by Liberty Mutual. We're talking about what the Blue Jays have done at home against the Yankees this year. One of the big reasons, home field advantage. Winning that tiebreaker was so important. They're 7-1 against the Yanks in Toronto, and they've averaged 8 runs per game.
Well, let's not forget the moves they've made, which is really some of them under the radar and then some of them really big in the bullpen. And they shored up their defense with a guy like this in the outfield. And so they did all the things they had to do to press the right buttons to get this team in this position to have success and make a long run.
That's ball 3. And then there's also the moves that they didn't make, because a lot of last season falling apart was their star players being bad. George Springer, Bo Bichette had down years. Alejandro Kirk was not himself. They could have went out and tried to spend over those problems and just get an entire different set of guys in there, but they counted on bounce backs from those guys and have gotten them from all of them. Ross Atkins, who has faced heat in recent years, deserves credit for what feels like a special team. It's gone to 3-2 on Straw. He was up there to sacrifice. Now he will swing away and take ball 4 instead. First 2 have reached, 8 and 9 in the order. Let's check in with Kenny.
Joe, at the start of spring training, it was difficult to imagine the Blue Jays reaching this point. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was potentially a free agent, as was Bo Bichette, and we'll get back to this after the change.
All right, as Aaron Boone comes out, and this sellout crowd is going to let Max Fried hear him. Major league leader in wins, one of the hottest pitchers in baseball down the stretch. They chew him up and spit him out. So Max Fried lasts 3+ innings, gives up 5 runs on 8 hits, at least 5, because the men at first and second, his responsibility too. Yankees pen takes over. It's Will Warren at the top of the Blue Jays order, and George Springer, strike 1.
Well, Warren's got some good stuff. You see the numbers on the year. ERA a little high, but he can strike you out just as easy as anybody else. He needs a ground ball or a strikeout in the worst way, because this is looking like a blowout inning.
Nope.
I mean, 5's already a huge uphill climb. Anything more, if the roof was on, they'd blow this thing wide open with the fans being just treated to some offensive. A clinic, really. It's been a clinic.
Top runners in scoring position team in baseball this year. The 2nd best team in franchise history at a time when averages are way down across the league. 292 runners in scoring position. Historically good for the Jays. That has continued into the postseason. Their hitting coach, David Popkins, who deserves a lot of credit for this turnaround. An offense that was 23rd in the majors in runs scored last year, 4th this year. Popkins got let go by Minnesota as Springer takes the walk here. Comes over here to the Blue Jays, and no matter who you ask in the Blue Jays organization about this offensive turnaround, Popkins' name comes up. And the way that he's given each one of his hitters the freedom to be whoever they are, to do whatever makes them them, instead of having necessarily one plan and one style for each hitter. Do what makes you good has been his message. Schneider with the bases loaded.
Watch out, first pitch, boy. He didn't get anything close. Right now, Warren, velocity's there, but after the first pitch strike, that's 5 in a row now, and nowhere to put anybody else.
Schneider takes a strike in the lineup because there's a left-handed starter, but Schneider's actually been way better against right-handed pitching. 2. 1-2.
I like Warren a lot. He's got an easy delivery. If he can command the baseball, this stuff can be electric.
Here's his 1-2. Hey! It's in there to get Schneider. 1 away. Guerrero.
That's a rare strikeout because the bat really never left the shoulders. There was no swing and misses in that strikeout. And there haven't been many swing and misses, period, by the Toronto offense.
Vlad Jr. 5 for 6 in this division series. His last 8 games against the Yankees, he's hitting above 600.
He's such a rhythm hitter. You see where he starts with the bat, but then he gets the bat in position. Again, he's not going to launch and lift. He's going to attack the angle, more line drive. Think about growing up in that household and having hitting be seen and taught in a different way than what the guys are being taught today. He's a comfortable, confident hitter when his mechanics and timing is on plate.
On a 2-0, Vlad takes a strike. Growing up in that household, not growing up in major league stadiums, major league clubhouses. He'd follow his dad everywhere, and he'd be a 6-7-year-old kid making the big leaguers say, "There's no way."
Yeah.
Tell me how old this kid is.
Watch his foot tap. That's the timing of when he's on time. He gets that short toe down and ball.
Baby, goodbye. Vlad Jr. strikes again. Vlad and the Jays are humiliating the New York Yankees. Outscoring them 19-1 over the first game and a half.
Outside.
2-0 on Kirk.
We're going to show you that again, and that was just as beautiful of mechanically sound hitting you'll ever see. Now, granted, he worked himself into a great count, but man, when he hits and he's on time, it is pretty to watch.
Can't even keep up on my score sheet trying to document all this. 6 out of 7 for Vlad Jr. 6 driven in.
The talk for some of these hitters was, man, we got to get Vlad going. We got to get him going. He's struggling the last 2.5 weeks. Well, 6 days. That's all it took.
Jeez.
6 days off.
And an injection of this postseason environment. Kirk through the right side. You were talking about that when he was up last time, that big hole on the right side. Take us back to what you're talking about.
Yeah,
with Guerrero.
I want you to watch how simple this is, the timing mechanism. See, he gets it down and then he loads up. And when he was off, that timing was off. And that's all it takes. Every hitter has a mechanism to start the angle of the bat and create power. And that is as simple and as standard for Guerrero as you'll ever see. It's not a big move. It's not a high leg kick and put the foot down. It's just a simple heel to toe and then let your hands go.
He's so sensitive to that timing, but when it's locked in, there is no more dangerous hitter in baseball.
Yep.
Varsho, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored.
Yeah, I'm good. Yep.
Piece of the home plate umpire. Adam Hamari's okay as Austin Wells checks on, but we get to listen in. Feels like weeks ago when this was a 2-1 game.
Yeah. I was
6th inning yesterday.
Getting ready to say that whole thing flipped on its ear, and that guy right there is a cage. He's a caged animal. He wants to get back out there. He's waiting a long time. And whenever you wait a long time, 1 or 2 things have happened. You're getting a ton of runs, right? And you got to go back out and get your rhythm going again. Or there's been a rain delay. And obviously, it's not a rain delay. It's a ton of runs. And pitchers are creatures of habits. Some will just sit there, and the others will I got to get up and walk around. And
Nope.
He's got 4 no-hit innings. I hope that he doesn't kill his time by eating a Zag nut.
no, he will not be doing that. They don't even have that anymore.
I don't think they have him in Canada
No,
either.
not in Canada.
Or maybe only in Canada. What do we know? For the folks that don't know, John once lost a no-hitter thanks to a Zag nut. They're going to lose this ball. Somebody's going to find it as a souvenir. They're handing them out like hotcakes. It's 11-0 Blue Jays as Varsho goes deep. This is the most lopsided stretch of postseason baseball you will ever see.
Yeah, it's like it's on the tee for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he has gotten three-fourths of the cycle, the hardest 3 out of the way. Well, you know what? They didn't give that a triple, did they? I made it. It's a triple on my scoreboard.
Okay.
Scorecard.
Cycle watch for John.
I don't know why they would give that an error on a tricky ball that got by him. So I'm going to say they changed that to a triple.
Okay.
And if he gets a single, we're going to document it here at Fox as a cycle.
So you'd like me to call it, get my best cycle voice going, and really go out there for you, make it real.
I just realized that you looked at me like he doesn't have a triple, but he does on my scorecard.
Yeah, well, hey, then it's real. Counter for left, huh? He's the only guy in the Blue Jays lineup that has not scored a run in this game.
And I think we could give a million guesses on who is the only player to get a cycle in the playoffs.
Brock Holt.
Yeah, way to go.
I need less than $1 million.
Wow.
Nailed it. Grand slam from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. One of the 2 home runs in the inning. The other one came from Daulton Varsho. It's 11-0. Both in runs and hits. Yasaage 10 Ks over 4 no-hit innings.
And a long wait, over 20 minutes. And it'll take a second or 2 to register to click back in. That's a long time to wait in between innings.
Stanton, Chisholm, and McMahon coming up for the Yankees. Just trying to scratch out a hit here. First things first. Down to third. There's Clement. Wide throw. Guerrero gets it and tags him. But the Yankees have played 442 games in the postseason in their glorious history. This is the most runs they've ever given up in a 2-game span.
Yeah, it just shocks your system. I mean, you come in here winning those 2 games after losing the first game. You feel good about your team. You know you're going to face the team you battled against all year, and they had your number. But you never think ever that you're going to come in here and give up that many runs with 4.5 innings more to go?
Off Guerrero and into right field. Chisholm aboard. We'll see how this is ruled. And what do you think? You got hit or error?
I mean, they're going to give it an error if they're smart.
When a guy's not giving up a hit, that is close enough to give it an error, and they did.
Yeah, they can change it later, just like they'll change the double into a triple.
Yeah, you keep speaking that into existence. Oh, strike out McMahon. What is it? 67 pitches here in the 5th inning is Yasaage. He's 22 years old.
And you can already see a big difference, right? That 20 minutes, it's just taken him probably about 6 inches off his fastball. Already more contact in this inning than we've seen probably in the whole game.
2.
One high fastball swing and a miss, and he'll feel like he's got that chest back out where he's saying, here's my fastball, go ahead and hit it.
Nope. Good take on a splitter.
Up, and he's got no chance. Down, McMahon can get to it. This should be one of the easier pitches as he goes into his career, being able to throw at the top of the zone because of his release point and how he gets downhill after throwing that ball.
Pop fly, left side of the diamond. Clement into foul ground, has plenty of room. He's got it. 2 out. Make your voice heard. You can vote now to select the 2025 All-MLB team presented by MGM Rewards. Your chance to be part of history and honor this season's top performers. Terms and conditions apply. Go to MLB.com/AllMLB for details. 2 outs, and here's Volpe. Seen that slider do that a couple times. Not what he wants it, but getting a swing and miss.
One hit off of a splitter in this series. 0 for 19.
Just inside. Statistically is the hardest pitch in baseball to hit. And you're seeing more and more people throw it. Part of that's been the influx of pitchers from Japan, a lot of whom have that pitch. But a copycat league. Other guys picking it up too. 11 runs for the Jays and 11 Ks for Yasaage. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. Andres Jimenez smacks the ball up the middle. Jazz Chisholm with a jump throw to get him. You can learn more by going to playball.org or following @playball on social media. So out on the first pitch for Will Warren here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Miles Straw comes up to the plate. Walked and scored a run as part of the 6-run 4th.
This is the kind of game where each manager can pretty much do whatever they want, get some at bats for people. I mean, if this game stays like this, Aaron Boone is trying to figure out what in the world has happened to his offense.
Yasaage has happened today, but overall in the postseason, this is now 5 games And only 4 runs, or only 10 runs over those 5 games.
Yeah.
Trey staying loose, ready to go back out there for the 6th. It'll be Shane Bieber for the Blue Jays in game 3. And it looks like Bieber will be trying to pitch him into the championship series in the Bronx. Carlos Rodon will counter for the Yankees.
Looks like Bieber's probably going to have the same thought I would have. The Yankees are going to think I'm easy compared to the,
all right.
the 2 guys I just faced.
You got Yasaage making his 4th major league start. Bieber's going to be making just his 8th start in the last 2 years. Strikeout a Straw, 2 gone in the 5th. We've referenced a couple times the 6th inning yesterday when this was a 2-0 game. Judge strikes out with the bases loaded, nobody out. They get a run in the bases loaded walk from Bellinger, but then Stanton struck out with the bases loaded as well. And from that point forward, the Blue Jays are outscoring the Yankees 19-0 in a 7-inning span. Springer corks one, left center field. That's headed for the seats. It's gone. Springer's first hit of the postseason is a home run. A dozen for the Blue Jays. It's the 20th of George Springer's postseason career. So many different ways to slice how dominant this has been. The Blue Jays now have more home runs than the Yankees have hits.
You can fix it.
That jacket.
Gonna be smelly, isn't it? Send that to the dry cleaner.
That jacket's getting a workout.
Yeah. Third homer allowed by Warren. One of the reasons that they went with Healy yesterday instead of Warren is that when Warren pitched here back in July, he gave up a career high 8 runs. It looks like the Jays just have his number. Rice is out of room.
Sinker right into that barrel.
Blue Jays have tied their franchise record, 4 home runs in a postseason game.
How about they have more home runs than strikeouts? How many teams can say that?
Yeah. 4 strikeouts in the 2 games. 7 homers. I beg your pardon, 5 with Straw's strikeout earlier in this inning. Point stands though.
Nope.
Snyder's down in a high fastball. Trey Savage gets a swing and a miss from Austin Wells to open this 6th inning. He's got a no-hitter intact with 11 strikeouts, although he's at 77 pitches, the most that he's thrown in the majors, 96. Wells into shallow center field, maybe. Either way, it's going to be an easy one for Jimenez. The city and the country going to share their love right here. What a performance in his 4th Major League start. Yasaage getting high fives from everybody, his managers, all his teammates in the dugout, and a curtain call on his first postseason start.
Yeah, I think part of that, and obviously that's the greatest feeling in the world for his parents. You can't even imagine what that's got to be like. But I think taking him out is pretty much telling you that not only is the game well in hand, they could think about Game 4 and a usage out of him in Game 4 if it goes there. So pretty easy decision, even though he hadn't given up a hit.
Game 4 is scheduled to be a bullpen game for the Blue Jays. Strike one from Justin Brule. Yankees still searching for their first hit in a game where they trail 12-0. Brule is a bit of a surprise to make the roster, but he has one important quality against these Yankees. That is, he throws with his left hand.
2. Throws way across his body, which makes it even tougher on the left-handed hitters.
Brule spent almost all of September in AAA. Just came up for the final weekend and pitched well and showed enough. Grounded to first. Backhand Guerrero feeds Brule. That's not an easy catch, but he makes it. Ken Rosenthal is up in the crowd with some special and very happy guests.
Absolutely, Joe. We're here with Dave Yasaage and Cheryl Yasaage, the parents of the man who just made some postseason history. Dave, what was your reaction watching that?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Hey, he went to work. He did his job. He did his job. He knows what his job is. And he is not in a better fan base than right here in Toronto with all of these fans, all of his family right here. Right?
Cheryl, now as a mom, where did you teach him, or how did you teach him that kind of composure? Where did that come from?
He was born with that. I remember when he was 15 years old, he had that composure, and I think ECU taught him a lot too. And he does have ice in his veins, doesn't he? Oh my gosh.
Now, Dave, when was the last time you saw him before this start? Did you see him last night?
We saw him this morning.
This morning. Okay, what was he like?
He was good. He was, you know, Trey's always been that real even keel, calm demeanor. And we were in his hotel room with him for a bit, and he had some sports on and was watching himself talk. And I asked him, I said, do you like to watch yourself like on camera? He said, no. I said, well, then turn it off, you know? Turn it off, put on some football. He said, I can't get football here. But he was looking for the London game, you know?
Cheryl, did you ever imagine this day could be like this?
No. I was hoping that he would do well, but I never expected this. And especially against the Yankees. Being that we're from outside Philadelphia and we've been Philly fans and Yankees have not been our top team, this is amazing. This is amazing. He did a great job.
Cheryl, thank you very much. Dave, how do you think you guys will celebrate tonight?
Well, actually, we're driving back to Pennsylvania. This guy's got college class tomorrow morning, so we're going to be driving back tomorrow, or driving back tonight. But yeah, we'll find ways to celebrate. We're going to see Trey for a little bit before we leave the stadium, and then we'll go from there.
All right, Dave, Cheryl, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joe, back to you.
Awesome stuff, Kenny. They can swing back home to Boyertown, repack their bags, and head on up to the Bronx. Strike on Cody Bellinger after Aaron Judge gets the first Yankees hit of the game. It's an infield hit, and then takes second base. The next best thing to having that moment yourself has to be watching your kid have that moment.
Yeah, the anxious, uncontrollable, can't control anything, rooting at home and just wanting him to do well. Well, he did.
Bellinger crushes the ball down the line and gone. The Yankees get on the board on a Cody Bellinger home run. It's 12-2. Bellinger, the best lefty hitter in baseball this year. Connects on one right here. First home run of the postseason.
Does a good job not clearing his hips too soon and staying in on the ball, and that's probably why he's such a good matchup for lefties on the mound.
Ben Rice with 2 away. Shoots one into shallow left field. That'll drop in for a base hit, and the Yankees go 5 2/3 of that a hit. And they get 3 in a row here in the 6th, trying to gather some momentum to take back to the Bronx with them.
Yeah, they need something to click offensively.
So to do it for Brule. And it makes it even more impressive what Yasaage does. He leaves, and the Yankees, top team in baseball offensively all year, wake up. A couple runs allowed on the home run from Cody Bellinger against Justin Brule. And Braden Fisher takes over and delivers ball 1 to Giancarlo Stanton.
75% of his pitches are going to be the breaking ball variety.
Fisher made his debut back in May and has been one of the nice surprises for this bullpen that's helped them take off. Saw the numbers 7-0 with a 2.70 ERA, especially good in September. The ERA was below 2. That's ball 3 on Stanton. Still trying to get going. He's 0 for 2 today, 1 for 17 in the playoffs. Breaking pitch, yanked down the line. A fair ball headed for the corner. Schneider digs it out. They will stop Rice at third. Stanton's got a double. His first hit of this series. That's 4 in a row for the Yankees.
4 in a row with 2 outs.
The largest comeback in Yankees postseason history, in case you're wondering, is 6. Trying to pull off the greatest comeback in postseason history, period, here. Getting a couple of runs on the home run, making a little noise here. Continue with 2 out. Jazz Chisholm stands in. 0 for 2 in this game. 1 for 6 in the series. Ball and a strike.
There's that big breaking ball. Jazz has yet to really get unleashed.
Breaker again, fouled off, 1 and 2.
That was his chance right there. That was a high breaking ball to the middle part of the plate.
And now Fluharty gets loose. The 1-2 pitch. Another 1-2 to Chisholm. Is swung on and missed. There's strike 3. What do you think about the weight of the expectations that came with being Vlad Guerrero Jr. just having his name showing up with the Blue Jays in 2019? He's been a perennial all-star. Still weight on his shoulders, though, coming into this postseason, because this is the one thing he's not done. He's not delivered in October, but has done that in bushels first 2 days here. Grand slam his last time as part of a 6-for-7 first 2 games.
It's just an incredible start.
Outside.
Fox 4 Sites powered by Google Cloud. They're giving Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 18% chance to add another RBI. Only Blue Jays player with a 5 RBI postseason game, Tony Fernandez, in one of the craziest playoff games ever. The Blue Jays scored 6 runs in the 8th inning to win 15-14 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Game 4 '93.
Yeah, he's only going to have really 2 at-bats to do it, unless they decided to take him out. Doubt that'll happen.
Try and drive himself in. 2-2. In the air to right center field. Grisham says that he's got it and does. Now the Stars have shown up. 2 home runs for Kirk yesterday. Guerrero now 6 out of 8. And we talk all about the depth and the supporting cast, but this time of year the Stars got to be stars, and 2 games in, 2 stars have been.
Done a great job behind the plate. I don't think he gets enough credit. His manager speaks to the credit of his ability to steal strikes, block pitches, hit.
Grisham will put it away. We were talking to John Schneider about first time that he saw Alejandro Kirk, and he said it was actually defensively when Kirk was a 19-year-old in the minors, because at that point John was the catching coordinator for the Blue Jays, and he said he watched him and he said, my gosh, his hands are as impressive as I've seen. And then he watched him hit and he said, okay, we got a well-rounded player right here. He was in the major leagues, even though nobody wanted him as a teenager when he was eligible to be signed. Only one team offered him. That was the Blue Jays. He was in the major leagues when he was 21.
Well, there is something special when you have catchers that when a manager or even a pitcher can see the difference of how he sets the glove and how he receives the pitch and the presentation that he gives. It's enticing for the pitcher to throw it to his area. And that's what he possesses. Good hands action of the glove and the presentation that he gives not only to the umpire but to the pitcher himself.
This guy's having a heck of a day of his own. 2 doubles, or sorry.
Yeah. It's a question. It's a question.
2 doubles.
He's going to have to get a single here.
He's got a home run either way.
And then I'll go over to where the official score is, and I'll show him my scorecard. Okay. And see if, you know.
I think to get to him, you have to climb a ladder and then take a slide down a level.
Well, again, I do it in pen, so I'm not changing it.
Right. Yeah. Hook down the right field line. Judge is going back to the corner. It's gone! It's an incredible day for Daulton Varsho. Forget the single. How about 2 doubles, 2 home runs?
See, if he doesn't touch home plate right here, he gets a triple.
Give it up. Wonder how many Blue Jays have had 12 total bases in a postseason game.
He's just on fire right now. Man, oh man. These guys realize they don't give out an MVP for the division series.
Yeah, right. Save it. Strike on Clement. It should not be that big of a surprise watching Daulton Varsho have this kind of day, especially not a surprise watching a homer. He had 20 of them in 71 games this year. Missed the first month recovering from shoulder surgery. Missed a couple months after that with a hamstring issue. When you're looking at how often he homers based on how many at-bats he got, he's right up at the top of the list of the most prolific home run guys in the league. Third season with the Jays. Came over for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Gabriel Moreno from Arizona a few years back. Clement has his third hit of the game.
Man, there is film that you're going to watch during the season, and then there's film you're going to never watch. This is film that Toronto should always watch. And then on the flip side, of course, Aaron's just going to discard it as one of those games, and like it never happened, unfortunately.
Problem is it happened back-to-back days.
Yeah.
Burn the tape games.
Well, the Yankees are resilient. They're going to find out real quick, how resilient they are when they get home. And the only option they're going to have now is they got to come back. That's got to be their goal. We got to come back to Toronto, and they're going to have to do that one game at a time.
Actually, take whatever hope you can from this. They've trailed 2-0 in a 5-game series 4 times in their franchise history, and half of those they've come back to win the series. 1-2 on Kiner Falefa. If Carlos throw down, they'll have their home crowd waiting in Game 3 on Tuesday.
Yeah, the first job he's going to have is putting up zeros early. I mean, they just got to find a way to get the lead. And this team has jumped on every one of the starters so far early and hasn't looked back.
So that's on Tuesday with the pregame show starting at 7. First pitch should be a little after 8 o'clock Eastern. An hour earlier on Wednesday. And if it goes 5, that'll be back on Fox here in Toronto next Friday. Don good during the regular season. It's an understatement. 18-9 in ERA around 3. That was solid against the Red Sox in the wild card round, going 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. Bieber counters for the Blue Jays. And if the Yankees can get it to a Game 4, it's going to be a bullpen effort for the Jays in that one. And that's when Cam Schlittler would be lined up for the Yankees. Today, the Blue Jays get 7 runs on 8 hits against Max Fried. They've gotten 6 runs on 6 hits, including 4 home runs against Will Warren. Strike 3 called on Kiner Falefa. And it's Eric Lauer who is a key piece for these Blue Jays this year, out of the blue, contributing 9-2 with a .318. And figured he'd play a big role in Game 4 if it were to get there. The bullpen day comes in here to try and finish this thing out. Delivers a strike on Ryan McMahon. 13 runs on 14 hits for the Jays, 2 runs on 4 hits for the Yankees in succession last inning.
This can serve as like a bullpen day, for him. That in between starts, you would throw on the pen on the side, and maybe they're giving him this inning and a half, whatever they decide to.
Base hit for McMahon. Well, our division series coverage continues with Game 2 between the Tigers and the Mariners. Tarek Skubal, coming off his 14 strikeout performance, takes on Luis Castillo with the Mariners. And then tomorrow over on TBS, Dodgers and Phillies, Cubs and Brewers resume their series.
Yeah, must-win situation for the Mariners going up against their ace, but they've had success, although brief, against Skubal on the year.
About the only team with 7 runs in 2 games. Mariners scored against Skubal. Curve for a strike on Volpe.
seen firsthand, you know, and this is what Yankee fans are going to be trying to figure out, what is their team going to do when they return home. I've been part of series where the narrative changed and flipped quickly, you know, up 2-0 and losing the next 4. So it is possible, if you follow the statistics, you don't feel great about it because the statistics don't bear out the positivity of what can happen. But you have to change the narrative starting in the first inning in New York, with the raucous crowd, with the energy, and then of course with the bats.
Talk radio is going to need to buy a few more telephones tonight, I think, for all those calls coming in tomorrow.
No, New York has had a rough sports day today.
Jets and Giants. Mets are always fair game. Yeah, the Yankees laying a couple eggs this weekend in Toronto. Another 1-2 from Eric Lauer to Anthony Volpe. Swing through with a slider to the knees.
The fan base in Seattle, their last 2 home games they've had in the postseason, wasn't the last one 18 innings? Lose 1-0. This one had the makings of going another. They'd only win 11, but
Paul Goldschmidt pinch hitting for Austin Wells. First hit of their first at bat of the series for Goldschmidt. He's remained good against left-handed pitching, but he's ceded time to Ben Rice at first.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Mariners in those 2 games you're referencing, 2 runs.
29 innings.
Yeah. Yesterday, their big guys did it. Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez are both 3 for 5. The rest of the team, though, was 0 for 28.
Pitching chaos is what A.J. Hinch wants, and that's what he got yesterday. He doesn't care for pitching chaos today. He just wants one dude.
It's amazing how different it can look for the Tigers based on Skubal or anybody else. Goldschmidt serves a base hit the other way. Yeah, and off of the bench, he's 2 for 2 in this postseason. There's the matchup. Luis Castillo has been a whole lot better lately. In fact, his last 4 starts of the regular season, ERA down around 1.
241 strikeouts, 33 walks.
Pretty good. Makes his return to Seattle. That's where he pitched his college ball. Seattle University. That's a ball on Trent Grisham. Grisham is 0 for 6. For 6, and back to his time with the Padres, 2 for his last 36 in the playoffs.
What do they have? 12 strikeouts through the Yankees?
Yeah. 13.
13 strikeouts, and this momentum will help a little bit if they can just keep getting some hits and put some runners on base. See how close they can make it.
I mean, you talk about narrative shifting quickly. They go back and they win game 3. Then you're looking there saying, all right, we got Schlittler going in game 4 against a bullpen game. You start to feel good again.
Yeah.
Especially in these short series, it can shift so fast. Grisham hits it hard and through. First hit of the series for Trent Grisham will load the bases.
For Aaron Judge.
Was reached twice more in this game. He had a walk in the first inning. He had their first hit. It was an infield single in the 6th. And he's going to face a new pitcher. John Schneider not going to let his lefty Lauer face Judge.
Not what John Schneider had in mind for all these different moves.
Yeah, right. Take a break. Back for Judge's at bat. It's Aaron Judge with the bases loaded, trying to take a bite out of this 13-2 deficit. And this is when He's been non-existent the last 4 years in the postseason.
He has, and here's a chance again for a good feeling, a click of the bat, and something that hasn't gone right can go right here. These are little things that he's had to deal with statistically and not in his favor. So, yeah, people will say, well, it happened in the 13-2 game. Who cares? If you're Aaron Judge, you've got to click in right here. You've got to drive the ball.
Tommy Nance is the man on to face him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Make the fans in the stands do some math. Uh-oh. We're only up what? You know, right now it's been comfortable.
Jam shot, center field. Varsho comes on. It drops in front of him for a base hit. If the throw to third is late, and it is. So it's an RBI single for Aaron Judge, and it's 13-3.
See, now I don't have to show that anymore. Get that 0 off. Look, you got to keep fighting. I know baseball has ways to humble you, but keep fighting.
Well, the Yankees did not have a hit through 5 innings. They have 8 of them over the last 2. And the scoring started with this man right here, Cody Bellinger, launching a home run. Bases loaded one away, outside, ball 1. Bellinger played in the postseason every year that he's with the Dodgers. Those 6 seasons where he was Rookie of the Year and then he was MVP. First postseason trip since.
And it's not insignificant, even though it's a short series, to start getting looks at every single guy they're bringing in, right? It's not insignificant, especially when Game 4 is going to be that, if there is a Game 4. So every ounce you can push the other team to doing something they wouldn't normally do in a 10-run game, it helps.
Bellinger pokes one towards the left field corner. Straw on the run with a sliding catch. Miles Straw, one of the top defenders in the American League, takes away extra bases. Goldschmidt didn't score, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
One of those moves that really has helped their defense. That ball gets by, all 3 runs score. Get a hush in the crowd a little bit. If there's anybody that needs to get going for the Yankees, I know he got a hit his last time up. It's this guy.
Outside.
Finally facing a guy that doesn't throw him a bunch of splits.
That is Ben Rice, who was there right there with Judge as their hottest hitters down the stretch. Coming into this series, he was hitting .390 over his last 3 weeks.
Hey!
One for 7 in these 2 games. He's taken over first base from that man right there, Paul Goldschmidt, who pinch hit for the catcher Wells. On this 1-1, Rice takes outside for ball 2. Out of Dartmouth, Ben Rice. Got Grisham at second, Judge at first. Hits it hard in the air to right field. Lucas going back. He'll turn and watch a hit off the top of the wall. Grisham in to score. Rice headed for second. Slide is there. RBI double for Ben Rice. And it's 13-5. Yankees 9 hits the last 2 innings. And I don't know if this comeback is going to have enough steam in it. The hole too deep. But the Yankees getting something to feel good about going back to the Bronx.
Just anything that changes the narrative of the hitter going, I haven't made contact. Now the last 2 at bats, a single and a double. You start feeling a little bit better, even though you may not come away with a win. This would be a serious bonus 2-out hit.
Outside.
It's Stanton taken away. And he's one of the guys that got a double his last time, his first hit of this series. Individually, each one of these guys finding something to hang their hat on going into the next part. Second and third, 2 out. Ball 2.
I had a high school coach when I was a freshman coach playing basketball. I would sit on the bench for the varsity And I'd have to remind him how much he was up, because he panicked all the time thinking, oh, you know, and here you're up 8. But it still starts getting in the back of your head where you're like, now I got to get somebody else up. I got to get another guy loose. I'm one swing away from being down 5.
So if I'm panicking, are you telling me chill?
Yeah,
or is
just
it
chill. No, chill. Everything's fine.
All right. Got to get it out here, though.
Yep.
Starts to get pretty darn interesting. 2-2 on Stanton. 5 1/3 no-hit innings for Yasaage. 9 hits in 1 2/3 against the Jays' pen. Stanton to left field. That's a base hit. Judge in to score. Rice is right behind him, and don't look now, but the Yankees have cut it to 13-7.
Okay, Joe, time to panic. No. That really shows me something of the New York Yankees and Aaron Boone and what he's talked about for his team. To get up off the deck against Boston, win those 2 games, and to be punched really in the face, and to make their manager make now what, 4 pitching changes?
This is going to be the 5th reliever the last 2 innings.
That's huge. There's no moral victories, but now we're not talking about a laughable game. We're talking about a game that kind of have a chance.
Fluharty's coming in. How about these Yankees refusing to just roll over? 2 innings against the Toronto bullpen. They've exploded. They got 2 runs in the 6th on the Bellinger home run. And they've gotten 5 runs here in the 7th. I don't know if they're quite panicking, but they're at least not chill anymore.
Hey, they're thinking about it.
Getting their calculators out.
Yes, they are.
Jazz Chisholm was stand at first and 2 out. Mason Fluharty's on to face him. And the lefty's first pitch is swung on and missed. Fluharty back and forth this year between the Blue Jays and AAA. Had an impressive finish to this year. Struck out 6 of the last 10 batters that he faced, including on final day of the regular season. Got out of a big jam to help him win the division. Bounce it to first. Guerrero's got it. Well, this has gotten way too interesting if you're a Blue Jays fan. The Yankees fighting a 5-run top of the 7th. At MLBshop.com to get your favorite team's postseason gear. Well, Aaron Boone not feeling like this is close enough yet to warrant chasing it, as Warren stays in the game pitching. Goldschmidt, after pinch hitting, is at first, and Ben Rice catches for the first time in the playoffs. Andres Jimenez swats it foul, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, this is the one thing most people don't realize, that decisions are made by the score of the game and how you hit differently, how you choose your pitchers differently, and certainly there are resources worth spending, and then there are some, you know, based on the predicament that New York is, they're going to have to use them all in game 3, 4, and 5.
Judge puts Jimenez away. We were talking earlier about the biggest comebacks. The largest comeback in baseball history is 12. So this would, if they could, and look, they're only halfway there, but enough to at least bring it up, they would have the largest comeback in baseball history, regular season or post. We mentioned their postseason history. At the time, I didn't want to bring it up, but 96, you were on the other side of that.
Yeah. And it switches.
What was your panic meter like as you saw them coming?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is when you go home and you're up with 3 to play, you like your chances. And when you come away not winning one of those games, and we blew a big lead, I believe, in game 4. Yeah, so that's when you start seeing the wheels turning in the wrong way, and it's hard to block out. Like, you know, the only thing that Aaron Boone is going to say when this game's over is, that's the greatest comeback I've ever seen, or way to fight, boys. Right? I mean, that's what he's going to say, and he's going to say, we got a chance to do something. If we continue to do from the 5th inning on, our at bats got better. You have to think positively. The game is filled with too many negatives.
7 runs the last 2 innings. They had 7 runs the last almost 3 games, going back to the beginning of game 2 of the wild card round. 2 balls and a strike on Miles Straw. Warren fires. 2-2. Warren, who is built up as a starter, is at 70 pitches, so can continue to cover up innings for him here.
The only thing I didn't like in our runs and even in baseball, when you hear these terms, our backs are against the wall, we got nothing to lose, let's come out fighting. I hate that. No, if you thought you could win when you had to, you'd never have your backs up against the wall. But what it does make you do is hyper focus on one at bat at a time, one pitch at a time. I mean, you would think that would be the narrative when you step into game one, but it doesn't always work that way. So that's really the pressure, obviously, is on the New York Yankees, but you try to shift it and put it on the other team by saying, we got nothing to lose, we're down 0-2. And that's just it's a flawed statement.
Shaw taps it up the middle with his speed. Chisholm will have to be good, and was. 2 away. Back to the top of the lineup for the Blue Jays and George Springer. In time for Fox Super 6, sponsored by DraftKings. Which player will score more runs in the divisional round? Julio Rodriguez, George Springer, Bryce Terang, Kyle Tucker. Who you got?
I'm going with Terang.
Yeah, the way that Brewers offense looks.
I mean, Springer's got 2, right now. What did he get yesterday? Did he get any?
1.
So he's got 3.
Launches a fly ball to left field. Bellinger will turn and watch this one hit off the base of the wall. And Springer's got his second extra base hit in a row.
Wow, he's not going to get up again, is he? No. He's a triple away from. Why am I on this cycle watch all of a sudden?
Because the Blue Jays are crazy. they're all making you do it. First time up there for Nathan Lucas after a good postseason debut for him yesterday. You ever have a cycle back at Waverly? Or?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sorry.
It was a dream game. 5 for 5.
Wow. Louis Varland. We didn't figure he was probably going to be pitching in this game when it was 12-0. Back to your point about one of the wins you can get as a team trailing like this is force the opposing manager to bring his top guys in. Extra work on their arms, extra look for your eyes.
My 7-year-old grandson got the cycle, and he did it on purpose.
Hey, that's savvy.
His last at bat, easily a triple, and he just kind of jogged a second. His dad was a coach looking at him like, what are you doing? And he said, I got the cycle.
What do you think I'm doing, Dad? History, buddy. Rice will hold on to it, and Springer takes third.
Springer's a fun guy to watch, and how he competes and all that he's been through already, and just this bounce back year for Toronto, you know, for him personally means a lot.
And a key guy, not just with his performance, but the way he's been a leader for them, and that's transferred to the postseason as well. This is his 69th postseason game, and he's passed on a lot of his experience to the guys. He's been great all year. He's been as good as anybody in baseball since the All-Star break.
Yeah, only his teammate, right? Bo Bichette. And the longer this goes, maybe Bo Bichette will be able to be activated.
One-two to Lucas again.
Outside.
You're talking about your 7-year-old grandson. My 6-year-old son, he asked me, why wasn't Chet playing? I said, excuse me, who? And he said, Boba. I said, son, Boba might be back for the championship series if the Jays get there.
Not a fun role for Warren, but he's done a good job sticking his neck in there.
Lucas fights it off in the air to left field. He's going to keep it right here. Yankees have 6 outs with which to work. They've got 6 runs that they need. Varland's ready to go. And it's Louis Varland who was probably down there thinking, hey, I got a couple days off here. We're up 12-0. Now he's pressed into duty here, 13-7.
You go from comfortable, no adrenaline, kick back, to forced adrenaline.
Ryan McMahon at the plate taking a ball. Yankees scored 2 runs in the 6th inning. It looked like, okay, that's nice, get a little something. But 5 in the 7th to make this interesting. In a game they trailed 12-0 at one point. McMahon lays a bunt down. Varland fields it over to first in time for the first out of the 8th.
Right idea, but got to be towards third base. And that one, easy play for Varland, but right idea.
Yasaage was untouchable, and it was the completely right move for John Schneider to go get him, even though there was no hits allowed. You touched on it. His availability for game 4 is a 12-run lead at that point. But the pen has gotten absolutely tattooed by these Yankees.
I'll never forget, I'm up 12-1 against the Yankees in game 1 of the World Series in '96, and I'm begging to come out.
Yeah.
Like, no, got to win this game. I'm like, win this game?
We got it. Different times. The Yankees are trying to do their best 1993 Blue Jays impression. We were talking a little earlier about game 4, that '93 World Series against the Phillies.
Outside.
The Blue Jays were down 5 going into the top of the 8th, scored 6 runs to win 15-14, the highest scoring World Series game ever. Deficit just 1 more for Aaron Boone's Yankees at the same stage. 2-1 to Volpe. 2-2.
Volpe's desperately got to put a ball in play here, preferably a hit, right? 3 strikeouts, 3 at-bats. He's the one that's got to feel a little bit of success moving forward. He's been pretty good in the postseason for the Yankees, but no one wants to get that 4th one.
2-2 outside. Triple digits from Varland, who threw the fastest pitch of his career to get out of that bases loaded situation yesterday against Stanton. This is the guy that got out of that key 6th. His payoff. Back to him. Fielding his position for the first 2 outs of the 8th. These teams travel back to the Bronx. And on Tuesday night, game 3, Shane Bieber for the Blue Jays. The ultimate wild card for them. Pick up the deadline. He hadn't pitched yet coming back from Tommy John surgery. He's been really solid in his 7 starts. And Carlos Rodon, 18-9 with a 3 ERA. And a game 2 winner against Boston.
One with room for error and the other one no room for error. That's what happens when you're down 0-2 in a best of 5. You've got to pitch a perfect game or close to it. Give your team a chance to get the lead.
The Yankees did something that had never been done in the wild card round. Would it be in a 3-game series? That is come back from losing the first game to win it. They'll try to come back in this series. Over to first goes Ernie Clement to finish off the scoreless 8th to steady the rocky seas a little bit for the Jays. Sun setting here in Toronto, 13-7. The Jays raced out to a 12-0 lead in this game. The Yankees expiring rally here, still though 13-7. As Vlad Jr. starts the bottom of the 8th. One last at bat for him in front of this home crowd in this first little stanza of this division series. And man, has he delivered for a city that loves him. 3 for 4 today. After 3 for 4 in game 1. Home run in both. Right up there into the retractable roof. I don't think Grisham saw it, and so Judge comes over to catch it. 1 away in the 8th. We got the headline writers out there getting ready for tomorrow. We talk about the talk show hosts, plenty of fodder. We got our own writer here, Ken Rosenthal. You got a headline in mind for tomorrow?
Joe, the problem is I'm not as talented as the gifted people who write the headlines for the New York tabloids. I'm thinking torched in Toronto, but they'll have something better than that. To me, though, the story is this. Aaron Judge turns 34 next April. How many chances are the Yankees going to get with him at his peak? He's not going to continue like this forever. And here they are again in serious trouble in the postseason.
Alejandro Kirk. First of all, bonus points for the alliteration from Kenny on the headline. then yeah, it's more than just. You got to zoom out to look at what this means for the franchise in this era. They're going to be facing an early exit, and windows close. Opportunity after opportunity. Perennial postseason team. Kirk into left center field. Bellinger's over to get it. So the pressure will be on those Yankees to extend their season. Daulton Varsho comes up here, and it looks like that is going to do it for Will Warren. Varsho 4 for 4. Nobody has ever had 5 extra base hits in a postseason game. And he's going to try to do that against Luke Weaver, who looked to get him out in the postseason for the first time. Daulton Varsho heads up there with a chance to do something that's never been done, trying to get as many extra base hits as that number on his back. 4 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 homers today. And Luke Weaver, who's just in a bad place right now, comes on to, in a low pressure situation, try and find a good feeling like a lot of the hitters have here. Well, the previous record for total bases in a postseason game for the Jays was 8, so he already had a tie for that his last time up when he went deep. It's a deep fly ball, but to the deepest part of the yard, and it takes 1 pitch for Weaver to get his first out of the postseason. Last chance at a miracle comeback for the Yankees. Top of the order coming up here, 13-7. So Anthony Dominguez, the Jays not messing around, going to one of their top guys here. Faced 2 hitters yesterday, retired them both. In there with a strikeout, Grisham. 7th reliever that John Schneider's had to bring in. Of course, the off day tomorrow for those guys to get some rest. Grisham hooks this one foul, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, you couldn't have wrote a better script. If you're the Toronto Blue Jays manager saying, okay, here's what we're doing in the 6 days off to kind of simulate baseball. And we know all the things that go on with the team with the bye. But then we're going to come out and exercise what we do well and never miss a beat. I just think it's been incredible what Toronto has done.
I think the bat-to-ball ability we've seen all year. We saw some power, but not quite to this degree. 7 homers in 2 games. A strikeout of Grisham to open the 9th. So we've given the headline for the Yankees tomorrow, at least the story for the Yankees tomorrow. Kenny, do you have a headline and or a story in the papers tomorrow for the Blue Jays?
Well, my headline would be, first, the combined score, 23-8 of the 2 games as of right now. And then I would say, how do you like this exchange rate?
Nice.
Now the story would be, oh, I don't know, Yasaage and Guerrero and Varsho and Clement and on and on and on. And what is so remarkable to me about the Blue Jays, guys, is that if you go back to the start of spring training, you could not see this coming. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had not yet agreed to his extension. He was a potential free agent. Bo Bichette's still a potential free agent. The front office was under fire. The team as a whole could not have been expected to do this. Springer had a horrible spring. And yet it's one of those years where it has all come together, where the role players have emerged, the stars have played like stars, and here they are 1 win away, potentially, from the American League Championship Series.
And even 2 months into the season, Kenny, after they got clear of spring training, they were still not good. They're below 500, way out of first place. Well, as you said, it all come together. They've gone to another level here so far. How about this for a headline, given what Kenny said? Savage, and then in parentheses an S.
Yeah. Well, that's what Aaron Boone called his offense at one point.
That's right. Nope. Judge takes the walk. Aboard for the 4th time today. 2 walks, 2 singles. So he's hitting .450 in the playoffs with an on base above 500. One on base runner. Here's Bellinger. Knocked in 3 over the last 2 innings. Hey! was all Yankees in the first half when you're looking in the division and the race, and you see that it comes down to a tie, 94 wins, 94 wins. All Yankees in the first half. It turned with a 4-game sweep that we've referenced a couple times in this building at the start of July. Blue Jays did not fall out of first place after that. Yeah, they fell into a tie, but it's kind of like that series never ended. The Blue Jays averaged 9 runs per game. Wow, 9 runs per game, and then they do even better than that in the 2 games here. They're going to go to 8-1 against the Yankees in Toronto this year. 2-2 on Cody Bellinger. Little low. Bouncing ball towards the middle. At first, 2 out. And it's Ben Rice who's gotten his first 2 hits of this series, his last 2 times up. As good as the Jays have been against the Yankees in their own building, the Yankees have been pretty darn good against the Jays back in the Bronx. 4-2 at home this year against Toronto. For the Blue Jays in town is want it all. They weren't satisfied just getting their first win in the postseason in 9 years, winning the division for the first time in a decade. Sights set on winning it all. And they have looked every bit the part of a potential World Series champion these 2 games.
No, they have. And really, you think about whatever pitcher's on the mound against them, I don't think they have fear. I think they feel like they can at least compete and put the ball in play and get their hits, because that's what they've shown. Now, I'm sure they wouldn't want to face one of their own. Savage. he might be the equalizer.
Well, if it gets to a game 4, they're going to face the Yankees version of that. Yeah. Cam Schlittler.
Well, I got to give the young man credit. Look, there's a couple ways that game could have gone today for him, being unknown. He commanded the baseball. He wasn't off in any way. Didn't have the jitters, or at least didn't look like it. And that was an easy recipe for that to happen. When you think about what he was doing in the regular season and all the jumps he's made, to be that good and that electric at home against the Yankees, man, oh man. As good as Gosman was yesterday, he was better.
Wow. Well, that's saying something, because you were raving about yesterday.
Yeah.
Another 2-2 to Rice. And it's full.
You know, it's like in football. You script plays in your first drive, and it goes perfect. And you're like, great. Then what, right? And you just kind of keep going. Well, you script it as a pitcher. You're like, this is the game plan I want to have. This is what I want to execute. Here's what I want to impose on the other team. And they did it.
Rice takes the walk. He's saying, if I see one more splitter, I'm going to. So 2 walks in this 9th inning issued by Dominguez. Giancarlo Stanton went 0 for his first 6 in this series and 1 for his first 17 in the postseason. Is 2 for his last 2 and has knocked in a pair. Aaron Boone was saying before the game, just when you think with Stanton that he's got no shot, that he's not close, that's when he'll get you. 0-1 from Dominguez. A swing and a miss and strike 2. The Toronto Blue Jays are a win away from the championship series.
Well, this crowd's been unbelievable. Now it's up to New York and their crowd to try to create that same energy. But this crowd here, oh man, and their team gave them everything in the world to cheer about.
In front of another sellout crowd of 44,000 plus, the Blue Jays offense explodes again, and in these 2 games, 23 runs on 29 hits, 7 of them leaving the yard. John Schneider has his first 2 postseason wins. And his team will travel to the Bronx tonight. Spend the off day in the city. Get ready for game 3 in front of a hostile crowd Tuesday night. Man of the moment right there, Yasaage. 11 strikeouts over 5 1/3 no-hit innings. His first start in the playoffs, his 4th one as a major leaguer. Less than a month into his time in the big leagues, and just a few months clear of pitching in A-ball. Down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Trey, 5 1/3 innings, no hits, 11 strikeouts. When did you know today would be a special day?
I don't know. I mean, when I was out there, I could feel the energy of the crowd, and I just knew something was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be all that.
You said yesterday that you were built for this. Now, I know you pitched some big games at East Carolina, but nothing like on this stage. Why did you say that? Why did you feel that way?
I don't know. I pitched with my back against the wall with a division title on the line. I mean, I'm not built for this. We're built for this.
Your parents are here today. A lot of family is here today. What does it mean for you to do this in front of them?
It's special. They're my biggest fans. They're my biggest fans, and I love them. And they're my people.
Trey, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny. Another day for Trey Yasaage and his family. 13 runs on 15 hits for the Blue Jays. Gets his first win in the big leagues last weekend. Gets his first win in the postseason in his first try. The Blue Jays have a 2-0 series lead as the scene shifts to the Bronx for game 3 on Tuesday night. The Yankees turn to Carlos Rodon. Shane Bieber will counter for the Blue Jays.